Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the SH Figuarts Dragon Ball Master Roshi, or Kame Sennin. And this figure is one that I think a lot of people are pretty excited about. It's not the most articulated figure in the world. I mean, technically it is, but it's got some drawbacks. But it's Master Roshi, so I'm pretty sure everybody's going to be pretty on board with it. So let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. This guy stands just about 5¼ inches, which makes him just about, let's say, 13½ centimeters. So he's not particularly tall. I'll have a photo at the end with him up against another Dragon Ball figure so you can get an idea. But he's pretty short, but it's appropriate. That's what he's supposed to look like. Aesthetically, he's okay. There's no shading on him anywhere, which is really kind of a bummer. Even the facial hair is no shading. So that kind of blows. We do have the white stripe, which is painted pretty clean. The black lines are okay. The feet are painted, obviously the various colors, which are okay, but no shading. It definitely makes it feel a little bit cheap. I kind of wish we could get some paint out of Bandai again, but I guess that's not going to happen. That's not in the cards, so it's a bit of a bummer. It's not super shiny though, except for the orange and the blue. They're fairly shiny. But the skin tones are not, so I guess that's okay. As far as accessories go, we kind of have a lot. We have two different heads. We have the So that's pretty cool. We do have his sunglasses, which actually look really good, and they make him look kind of awesome. So that's good. And then we have his stick, which is sculpted well, again, but no shading. And then we have his turtle shell, which, hey, this thing's loaded with shading. It looks really, really good. The only thing is the middle, the middle chunk doesn't have any shading on it because it's removable for a display stand holder. But otherwise, it looks really good. We have a Dragon Ball, which is really nice. We get the 3-star ball, so add that one to the list. Then we have a bunch of different hands. We have the 2 fist hands. We have 2 different pointing finger hands, 1 peace sign or victory hand, 2 martial arts hands, 2 gripping hands, 2 different open palm hands, and then 1 hand which is a gripping hand for the Dragon Ball, but it's not sculpted tight enough so he can't really hold the ball with it very well. And then lastly, we get a display stand, which is nice. I'm not really sure why we got this because he's fairly easy to balance, but we got it. So free display stand, kind of. You still paid for it, but it's okay. So back to the figure. As far as articulation goes, the head is on your standard ball hinge for the Dragon Ball figures, which is unfortunate because it's not the best design at all. But it's okay. And then the neck is on a ball peg, so that's good. So you combine those two, and you can get decent poseability out of the head. It'll be fine. The ball hinge is definitely kind of a hassle, but it'll work well enough. He's got enough clearance, so that's okay. For the shoulders, we have a ball peg connecting the arm to the body, and then we have the hinge. So you get decent range out of it. Really no problem at all. Obviously, the shape of the shirt will affect rotating the arm, but it does work. Bicep swivel's okay. Single jointed elbow only gives you 90 degrees, but it doesn't look too bad having that big hinge there. It's okay. We have our ball hinge for the wrist, which is really recessed in that sleeve, so it's not super important, but it is there, and it does work, so that's good. We have a ball peg hinge combo in here, so you can kind of lift it up and lean him forward, but it still doesn't work all that well. So he's okay. I mean, he leans over pretty well, but it's not like he's going to get in any crazy poses. You can't really lean him back at all. Side to side's pretty minimal. And then your rotation's pretty minimal too due to the sculpt. So not the most posability out of this guy at all. This is just a seam because it goes from plastic to soft material, which is, I mean, the coloring is pretty good. That's kind of impressive. There is a ball peg where the torso meets the legs, so you can rotate his waist a little bit there, and you can move the legs forward and back and side to side as a whole. You're moving the entire crotch that way. So that'll help with some posability. But this is just flexible. So for the hips, it's basically just the new style hip. So you have the hinge going out to the side, which works pretty well. Of course, you can rotate it forward and back, and that works really well too, so that's good. You have your thigh swivel. You have your double jointed knee, which is definitely not a great look. I don't know why they did that. They could have just done like they did with the elbows. It would have looked way better. This does not look good. And then for the ankles, you just have one giant ball hinge, which it doesn't look good, but it's really functional. Forward and back, no problem. Ankle rocker, no problem. And then toe hinge is kind of worthless. So yeah, it's not by any means the best figure in the world, but it's kind of a fun figure. It's Master Roshi, so it's kind of a fun figure just by the nature of the character. But the figure is good enough. You know, you can pose him in some cool martial arts poses if you want to. just that torso could so be better. But yeah, he's posable just enough to be fun for like martial arts poses. And then for any of the standard type poses, he's definitely good enough. So yeah, I like him. He's definitely not by any means like an impressive figure, but he's good enough to add to the collection if you were worried about it. I think you'll be happy enough. That's fair. That's a fair assessment. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe and click that bell button so you actually get notifications, because I do have new videos up almost every single day. We talk about action figures, movies, TV shows, video games, all kinds of fun stuff. So make sure you come back for that. There's a better kick. And in the meantime, keep collecting.